Okay, hello everybody. I'm really glad to be with you for half an hour. If a little bit stressed, hands are shaking. Hopefully the voice is not. So I'm going to disappoint you a little bit. This is not going to be a big keynote where I'm going to talk to you about my big ideas on AR. Something really, complicated. We are going to be really down to earth here. We're going to talk about a little program, in fact, 2 experiments with AR that we are conducting right now at SNCF. Oh, by the way, my name is Lionel Duclay. I'm with SNCF. For those who don't know SNCF, it is basically the French National Railways. I guess a lot of you used our trains to come here. I hope the experience was great, and we think it could be even better. That's a challenge. And I'm not going to be alone for this keynote, so this is not your classical keynote. I'm going to get a little help from friends who participated in the projects. So let's get to it right now and share some, typical travel experience. First, I think we can all agree, waiting at a train station, so small train stations with not much to do, especially with children, can feel a bit long and exhausting, when it could feel really interesting. You could do things. You can use the time to discover things. So that's one goal of this program. The other one is to avoid spending your time sleeping on the train or being on your computer or your smartphone watching movies when there's so much to see through the windows. So France is a great country, and if you look through the windows, you see castles, and there are a lot of things to see around. So we could do something about it, I guess. Now, this is the first help I'm going to get from the people at TER Occitanie, which are the regional trains in Occitanie, which is southern France. And they are going to present themselves, of course, better than I do, and then talk to you a little bit about these projects. Hope the sounds work.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, je me présente Catherine Trevet, je suis directrice régionale adjointe en Occitanie.
Can you try again? Yeah. Okay. I'm spoiling my slides. It's okay. Let's go.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, je me présente Catherine Trevet, je suis directrice régionale adjointe en Occitanie pour TER.
Bonjour à toutes et bonjour à tous, je suis Daniel Aubaret, je suis directeur marketing et relations clients pour le TER Occitanie.
Dans le cadre de nos discussions avec la région Occitanie, nous avons une ambition sur le territoire partagée qui est de proposer des services innovants à nos voyageurs à bord et dans nos trains Lio et de leur faire découvrir une nouvelle expérience voyageur. Nous souhaitons aussi valoriser le territoire et accompagner le plan de relance économique des acteurs locaux. L'idée nous est venue d'expérimenter les voyages augmentés, la réalité augmentée.
Okay, so if I can reassure you, these people are not that, shaking in reality. But this is kind of augmented reality. There's an effect, apparently, on them. Okay, so, sorry, on the microphone. So, the main point of this slide is to tell you these are 2 projects, 2 very local projects. And what happened is that all the actors of this project, they worked together, they teamed up, and for the different parts, the clients, so the Occitanie region, which organizes all the transports in Occitanie, the TER Occitanie, who operates the trains, they took the risk of trying out this technology. It's never been done in France, that we know of, and we should know, SNCF, of course. And they took the risk to asked us to do this, and us is the team I'm part of, which is Fab ARVR. It's a center of expertise for immersive technologies, and the 574 Occitanie, which is the local innovative project accelerator. And we teamed up to, create these experiences, but we couldn't have done it ourselves. We did it with two development studios, which are Numix and WIMAP, and they're here today. So that's cool. Okay, so really important to team up national and local entities to make things happen. Let's talk about the first of these two projects, the treasure hunt. It happens in Villefranche-Vernay-les-Bains, which is, yes, it's not very English sounding. I'm not going to do it with an accent. It's in the Pyrenees, and it's a train station of Le Train Jaune, the yellow train. It is a really picturesque area. There's a lot of things to see, but if you want to get the good seats on this train, to enjoy this experience at the most, you should come early to the train station, which is a really small one, and there's not much to do. And typically, what happens is that daddy queues for the tickets and to get the best seats, and mommy or daddy, for that matter, is with the kids, and they wait. It can be very long. Some people come an hour early to get the good seats. So an hour there, waiting with kids can be quite long. And so I'm going to let Daniel talk to you about this project, what it should be.
Alors pour ces deux expériences innovantes, ce que nous apprécions beaucoup, c'est le digital au service du voyageur. C'est le digital comme on aime. C'est vraiment, on oublie la technique et on va vraiment se mettre en expérience voyageur. Deux exemples. Premier exemple en gare de Villefranche. Donc à qui ça s'adresse? Nous sommes sur le train jaune. Il s'agit de familles qui arrivent avec enfants. L'idée, c'est un jeu de piste ludique qui va permettre à travers 4 paysages, 4 panneaux, d'aller pouvoir faire une recherche autour de l'air, de l'électricité, de la pierre et de la nature. Le système il est tout simple, je viens avec mon téléphone portable, je vais aller chercher une information autour de la pierre. Qui dit la pierre, ça parle bien sûr des nombreux ouvrages qui constituent aujourd'hui la liste du train jaune. Une petite information pédagogique qui renseigne sur ce que sont les ouvrages d'art. Et puis un petit questionnaire tout simple où 100% des gagnants ont tenté leur chance, qui vous fait gagner une image en 3D, 4 panneaux, 4 images, le train complet, et vous prenez la photo en 3 dimensions. On est vraiment dans quelque chose de très ludique et de très collaboratif.
Yeah, it's back. Cool. I love hearing myself. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I guess Daniel explained it all, but maybe you want to see what it looks like. Yeah? Yeah, great. Let's do it, and hope it's not as twitchy as the previous videos are. I guess it's something with the refresh rate. Yeah. No, it's not. No problem. Yes, so still a little bit twitchy, the picture. The guest wasn't shaking at all. The hand wasn't shaking at all, I guess, when doing this video. So it's not all the experience, of course. You'll have to go there and to try it out, but I think you get the gist of it. So that's really cool. As you see, there are some kind of billboards, I don't know, totems we call that, that will be displayed at the train station, and people with their smartphones are going to get information. It's aimed at children, so it's quite kind of simple information about the train in itself and the surroundings. There are some things to see and some things to learn during this wait at the train station. Okay, so that was the functional side of things, and let's have a little chat with Joran from Numix, who developed this application for us.
Hi everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks to Lionel for inviting me to this talk.
My pleasure.
And yeah, so I'm part of Numix, which is a company in the southwest of France, in Albi, and we worked on this application of the yellow train.
Yeah, so I guess what people will want to know is the technical challenges that you face to, develop this application.
Yes, of course. The main problem we had to tackle on was the stability of the tracking. So what we have to deal with was choose the best technology to have the best tracking possible. So we were not sure between choosing an application that you could download on your phone or having like a web page that you could go on and use some web technologies for that. So we did some kind of benchmark to compare those technologies, and we saw that it was better to use an application that you could directly download on your phone. So that's what we decided to go for this technology. And that's why you can download this application on iOS and Android. Yeah. So.
And it works.
Yes.
That's the main thing. So yeah. Another question that I have, or I kind of know the answer, but I think you might have, would be about the ergonomics of it. How to help people use the application. AR is quite new in this kind of thing. So
yes, it's something we thought a lot about because we wanted people to use the application, and we wanted all the people to be able these applications, which means that young people to older people should be able to use it. And the thing that we notice is often that people try the application, and if it is too complicated to install or to use, they just leave the application and don't try it anymore, which was not the point. So what we did is we tried to make it as easy as possible to use. What we did is we created a small tutorial at the beginning, so people can understand how to use this new technology of AR, because most of people are not used to use the phone this way, like to look at a marker and to expect to see something coming out of the screen, on the screen. So yeah, you want it to be as easy as possible. That's why you just have to aim at the questions or at the pictures and videos, and just to wait on that with a small timer. And keep it simple. That's what we try to do,
Yeah, and little anecdote. My wife and my mother are the main testers of this application. So if it works with them, it should work for everybody. Okay, thanks, Joran. Thanks for the insights.
Yep.
And maybe we'll have 1 or 2 minutes of questions. If you have some, we'll try to do, and I'll try not to be that chatty for the rest of the later. There's one question already. Cool.
Yep.
See you later.
See you later.
Okay, let's move on to this viewpoint indicator or orientation table. There are two names in English, one in French. The idea here is on the line that goes from Nîmes to Mende in a Cévennes area, very nice area too, to give information to the travelers about what's surrounding them when they're on the train, aboard the train. So we were at the train station before, now we're aboard the train. And Daniel, as usual, is going to explain it much better than I do.
Je bascule maintenant sur la ligne des Cévennes. Là, je suis cette fois-ci dans un voyage augmenté, dans un voyage en réalité. Ça va se passer tout au long du parcours. Là, l'idée est très simple aussi, même principe. Je pars de Nîmes, je vais aller taguer un QR code et tout au long du parcours, tout simplement en naviguant mon téléphone à travers la vitre, je vais avoir des petits pictos qui s'allument et qui vont me dire, tiens, là, il y a une petite information, clique dessus. Je vais cliquer sur cette information-là et là, c'est magique. Je vais découvrir dans un rayon de 10 km autour de la ligne toutes les richesses qui vont être vues. L'idée n'étant pas bien sûr de faire la visite virtuelle, mais de faire envie et de faire savoir et de faire connaître. Donc c'est vraiment d'allier l'expérience voyageur, la richesse de nos territoires et au final une expérience réussie pour l'ensemble de nos voyageurs, que ce soit sur le train jaune ou sur la ligne des Cévennes.
Great, that makes it clear. I think you want to see what it looks like also. So let's do it with this little video, which is going to be twitchy or super twitchy. Oh. This is what it's going to look like. Really interesting, and I'm going to call Emmanuel, talk with me. I have to say the music is great on this video that isn't twitchy. That's great. It's real right? Okay. Maybe you should, I don't know if it works with the microphone. Should work, maybe put it closer. No, it doesn't work. Take another one, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2 microphone test.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, much better.
Hi, everybody.
So
I'm Emmanuel. I'm one of the founders of WeMap, and we are very pleased to be here today and very proud to be part of this project with SNCF, and very thrilled to launch it soon.
Yeah, we too. Okay, Emmanuel, yeah, classic question. Technical challenges of doing such an application in AR with everything moving around you and having markers. It's quite stable.
Yes, I guess we were accustomed at WeMap to build AR experiences for people standing or walking with their smartphone, but building an AR experience in a very fast-moving scene is quite a challenge, and I can quote two of them. One is, as you see, we necessarily use a GPS to locate the user and construct the 3D scene, because the asset in the background is moving too fast to do slam. And so when you are in a moving vehicle, the GPS acquisition can take some time, so the position is not as accurate as the one you have when you are standing still. But since you are looking at assets that are several kilometers away, it's okay. It's not too detrimental to the experience. The other challenge, which is the core technical challenge of this experience, is the bearing, like knowing for sure in which direction the user is looking at. And you are in metallic structures, and so you have a lot of interference. So we are looking at ways to improve the accuracy of the bearing, of the compass, simply maybe to use QR codes that will be have some kind of positional information relative to the train, so that we can know in which direction the QR code is facing, and then the user is facing when he or she starts the experience. So these are I would say, the two core challenges.
Okay, great. So hopefully we'll tackle that, and it's looking great already. Another question, so this is not a specific application. What you are providing, what we leverage is a tool, basically. And in terms of ergonomy, how do you work on the ergonomy on a tool that should address anybody? And what are the main points about that?
That's a very good question. I think so we built the technology at WeMap that combines map and augmented reality, and so we focus on very specific use cases. We don't want to spread thin and tackle all the opportunities of what AR can bring, but just focus on what AR for exploring, navigating the world around you can do and can bring as value for the user. So when we build the experience and we build the tool of WeMap, we really thought of a very limited number of use cases, one of which obviously is the orientation table, because when we started working on AR at WeMap, definitely this is something that was, something that was almost expected. Everybody wanted to try it, and each time we showed the prototype to people, they said, okay, I've been expecting this for a long time. And so we tried to make the experience and the ergonomy as simple as possible in terms of what are the digital assets that we overlay, what are the element of haptics and interactions that we can offer, aiming to trigger the opening of content, all the other services that you can expect for navigation. There is no navigation here, but that's something that is already built in WeMap. So we really try to focus our attention and work on making the service as simple and intuitive as possible.
Okay, great. And in one sentence, because I've been too chatty, and we're kind of late, I guess. It's okay. First time in life. What are the other use cases of the tool that you can think about, of this AR tool that you can think about?
As we said, so we are building exploration tools, so things that will help you explore, understand, and navigate the world around you. So beside this orientation table to explore what you are, the areas you are traveling toward, we also have many use cases for the tourism industry and for travelers. And so, for example, next week in Colmar, in the Alsace region of France, we'll have the launch of an AR experience to visit the old city with this radar, this visual search, but also with step-by-step navigation in AR to make it easier and make it more immersive for people visiting the city. And of course, we are working a lot on indoor navigation, because for complex spaces such as airports or train stations, this is a very promising technology for people who don't know the area, and to make their exploration and their time in the station more pleasant and less frustrating.
Okay, great. Thank you, Emmanuel, for these insights.
Thank you very much.
And let's move on. So I'm not going to be very long on this. Just to say that we take 3 of the 4 main pillars. So the 4 boxes are the main pillars of our SNCF's internal strategic plan. So, okay, I'm happy to say it already. That's quite a good note. So territories, it's a very local initiative connected to the territories. Digital innovation, well, AR. And the environment, the idea is to make people want to take the train, not just to go from A to B, but to live an experience, enjoy an experience, and maybe develop the local tourism. I guess I take the train every day, and I don't know what I'm seeing on the train, for example, and maybe there are some things that I would want to visit and I don't know about. So the human part, well, we're human, we're using it, but it's not the main point of this pillar. Just to say that we did a lot of things in a very short time, thanks to the will of every actor. 4 months in total, from the launch, the idea of both projects, to the implementation. So that's kind of an achievement. These are experimentations, so there is going to be feedback and improvements, but still, it's still an achievement. So we're really happy about that. And there's a little glitch on the slide. And to wrap it up, a word to the wise. So a few teachings, few things we learned during this project. First, we talked a lot about it, but ergonomy is key on these subjects. People need to be able to use it directly, otherwise they won't. So it needs a rethinking of how we use it, what we do, and what we want to show. Second, well, it's AR, virtual, we're in Laval virtual, but there's still the physical world to manage, and the anchoring is a main point, and the anchoring makes the link between the real and the virtual. And for example, on the train jaune, putting big totems in a train station, it's not that easy to do. So we have to think about how you want to anchor it. But this anchoring can help spreading the word, because this is digital. Basically, it's augmented reality, so when you don't have the smartphone and you don't have the app or the link, you don't see it. So you need to make it known that there's something to do there. And last but not least, content. The wow effect, it's not enough for a satisfying experience. You have to have things to say, a story to tell. And that's very important. And we expected to have a bit less work to do on this, but working on it, we realized that we had to adapt the content to this support, not long sentences, which I'm used to write, so I had to cut it down a little bit, because otherwise you can't see it on a smartphone, and you have to, just to do like that, just to read one sentence. So these are the things that we are going to work on again to have it the most perfect possible. And then a big thank you to you all, a big thank you and a big shout out to all the actors involved on the videos here with Numix and Wemap, so Emmanuel and Joran. And maybe we have to have one question or two. I think there was one.
Hello, thank you for this presentation. My initial question was about the traffic. How many downloads have been done, but it's not yet launched. I've seen it on the slide. So
very close to zero.
So what are your expectations in terms of usage? How many downloads, how many users do you expect in a year period?
Honestly, we don't know. And this is going to be a main point, is the rate of adoption. So on the train jaune, we chose a train station which sees a lot of travelers. And I don't have the figures in terms of traffic. And it's a shame that Daniel or the people at the train jaune couldn't make it today, because they would have been able to answer that. But it's, I guess it's maybe several hundreds of thousands a day, people going through this train station. So it's kind of busy in the summer. In the winter, it's kind of freezing there. And so we'll see, and that's a point. The rate of adoption is very important for us, so we'll see how many downloads we get. And on site, if the people are happy, if they use it correctly. And the luck we have is that we're directly connected with the people, the SNCF people that are there. So they are going to be able to tell us the feedback that they get. And I think it's one of the most important things at the train jaune. On the viewpoint indicator, it's kind of a mixed line between commuters and tourists. So it's going to be interesting also to see how many downloads we have there. And if the communication around, because that's the main point on the 7 line, is how we communicate around these applications so the people use it, because it's completely invisible if we don't communicate around this application, this project. All right, another question? Can't be. Couldn't be that clear what I said.
Just a question. It's interesting. So, what's the next step?
Implementation.
In everywhere, or some special trend line?
We've had interests of several parts, so several regional trains. So the SNCF is divided into regions for the local trains, and several of these regions are interested in these projects and are following this very closely. And hopefully in 3 or 4 regions it's going to be implemented if these experiments prove, prove that they work and the people will love it. But I'm sure they're going to love it. I'm quite confident, actually. No other questions? Now is the time. Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks a lot.